Hey guys, I'm doing another Yu-Gi-Oh! Q&A. This is my third one. Definitely want to keep this series going because I think it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to get right into the questions here. So David Wolford is asking me about Obelisk the Tormentor. Basically whether Mirror Force can affect him. And the thing is that Obelisk can't be targeted by, effects. But Mirror Force is a card that does not target. So if you use a card that doesn't target on Obelisk, it'll work fine. So you definitely need to have a way to deal with back row anyway, even if you're running the God cards, because you'll run into issues like that. Then Simply Yu-Gi-Oh! Asked me about my opinion on the Gen X archetypes. The truth is I haven't looked into Gen X that much. I did make a Gen X ally deck at some point, but I know our Gen X is mostly about searching, and they have some powerful stuff. Gen X allies are pretty much dark, but they have all this attribute related stuff. I'm kind of annoyed with Gen X at some point because of some of the attribute changing. I wish their synchros were more powerful without the need to, change the attributes all the time and stuff like that. I think they have some definite potential, and I definitely want to try them out more and make a few more decks kind of about them, just kind of see what I can do with them. I do like synchro-based archetypes, especially now with the prevalence of XYZs. I do like archetypes that have their own synchros and use them to really good effect. So I can definitely see some of the Gen X cards being extremely useful. He's also asking about support for the Gen X archetype, and when it comes to new support for like any archetype, just don't count it out. I don't count out any archetype for support, even if it's an archetype that you haven't seen support for in a long time. There's a new XYZ coming out that's meant for Dark Magician. Just isn't that ridiculous? Like, you cannot count out these archetypes. There's going to be a new Ancient Gear card in Primal Origins. There's just so much new stuff that just comes out, and you can never, really see it coming. So don't count it out. Specifically for Gen X, if I don't know specifically what I would add too much, except maybe like a new XYZ for them that could maybe like detach and then like you change attributes on the field or something like that. I think that could be really cool for Gen X. That's just my random idea. I have a lot of random ideas for cards, but if it was something for Gen X, that's what I would probably say might be able to make it more consistent to activate their effects. He also asked me about like the best level 6 synchros. It's debatable. I don't think any of the level 6 synchros are that good. My favorite is probably HTC. I really like his effect. I like having a 6 synchro that has a pretty good defensive effect like that. Celestial Wolflord's pretty good. Powered Insectron, I'm not a big fan of. Gaia Knight, it's just a generic one, not really too into it. I run Iron Chain Dragon in a lot of my decks because it has a lot of brute force in addition with an annoying effect. But yeah, obviously there's a lot of non-generic 6-star synchros that are good, but most of the level 6 synchros just don't compare with a lot of other cards in the game that have more powerful effects. But there are a few of them out there that can be interesting, and there's some new ones as well. But we all know the best level 6 synchro is Goya Guardian, obviously. Ridiculous card. Then Ali Altai, I think I pronounced that right. First, he asked me about an Atlantean deck. If you guys want me to do any type of deck, just post in my deck requests. If you don't know, every month I make a new deck request video, and you guys can post all your deck requests there. It's just too hard for me to keep track if it's anywhere else, because I get a lot of requests. So post it there. I might do it. Specifically about an Atlantean deck, I could do that, but it won't run as well as Mermails. It just won't. Just because Mermails are really strong and work really well with Atlanteans. But I could definitely do an Atlantean deck if you want to see that. Definitely could be interesting. He also asked me if I have an Xbox. I have an Xbox 360 and a PS3. I don't play them that much. I mostly play on PC. I do play on my PS3 occasionally. I play Street Fighter and things like that. I play a lot of other games, but just not on console as much. You guys can ask me more about that if you want more specifics, but mostly it's just occasionally. I focus more on PC. But I do play a lot of different games, and some of that is listed on my channel. Under my channel, I usually list the games I'm currently playing, which changes from time to time. So those are the questions I received this week. Definitely think it's great that you guys are asking me these cool questions. I definitely want to keep it up, and definitely post your questions below so I can answer more things. You guys can ask me about decks, you can ask me about rulings or archetypes or discussion about certain cards. The new ban list is going to be coming out. You guys can ask me about that. I'll probably make a video on that. You can ask me about some of the new rules that have been floating around in the OCG. Pendulum summons I know is going to be a big thing. You guys can ask me about all that stuff, anything about the game if you want. You guys can ask me about stuff outside the game, about me personally, about anything, YouTube, my channel, games, all that stuff. You're pretty open to that, and I definitely want to keep this going. I want to keep a dialogue between my subscribers and myself, just because that's the fun for me of having a channel, is having an audience and discussing things and getting my ideas out there and hearing from you guys. So with that, post your questions below, and I'll try to answer them next week. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.